Hey people, Injured here, BB3, Typhon Maya, blue team. Got some Space Marines. First up, stuck in Quarantine as a Techmarine. Starts off in ranged combat, puts out some good damage, can also support with structures and repair. We have nucka4ya as a Force Commander, very strong offense, fighting in melee, can also tank, disrupt and support. And alongside, rounding off the team, Sir Gunter the Kaiser as a Lord General, fighting in ranged combat, begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers, very strong defense and support, can also add to the retinue. Deathcore of Krieg DLC here. Red team, Orks. We got YZ as Mekboy, teleporting hero, fighting in ranged combat, puts out some good damage with a bunch of Orky gadgets, and Shazza4 as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects and very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines, getting shot by scouts right now. He's not going to be happy with this. Alongside, Big Mathis is a Hive Tyrant, a durable hero, walking through objects, cannot be suppressed with powerful offense, disruption and support, begins in melee with a basic synapse. I shall call you Ramos. Imperial forces versus Xenos. Red team take the mid early. The south is Force Commander versus Warboss. Force Commander getting through, very good special there on those shooter boys. That was not a battle cry special either. Sluggers going to make their way into the back lines, but this is not a great fight for them. Taking a bunch of fire as they approach, and Tactical Marines are no slouch in melee. Some decent specials there at least. Even the scouts are there getting some taekwondo in there. Yeah, Sluggers barely making it out. Can the Force Commander finish them maybe? Tries to. Crack. 8 hit points, 6 hit points does finish them off. Back towards the mid. Ramos in the back lines against some terrified guardsmen. Sluggers making their way back there too, with burners from YZ. 2-1 cap very early on for the red team. Lord General is not going to be able to stick around here for too long. Maybe they could get back onto the VP here, or decap the wreck point. Maybe a big flank against the Space Marines. Force Commander is forced to retreat. nucka4ya with double Tactical Marines has Artificer armor up. I think the Warboss should get, but they've got spiky armor on the way, should get angry bits up this side as they can charge up. It's relatively tight here, so they should be able to cover a lot of the width with a charge. Slugger's doing well. Bashed the node and got a decap. Ramos gets the decapping and runs. Good start for the red team, although a little bit shakier on the south side. Wreck point was taken by the scouts. Here comes the Warboss with, oh, triple shooters up, okay. Good amount of Daka. Warboss now with the spiky armor. An odd choice, I think, early on against Space Marines. I mean, it does make him really tough. 250 health and more health regen. But the damage on hit, typically used against factions that are going to throw melee units at you. But the sheer tankiness is always useful. Took a bunch of damage going in, but drew fire away from the shooter boys. Shooter boys are getting too close though. Should have planted their feet and shot at the Force Commander. They got way too close. Warboss has to run. And here comes an assist from Sir Gunter. I'm not sure if nucka4ya needed it. Force Commander doing a lot of work here. Now facing down double Termagants and Adrenal Gland Hormagaunts. Got some grenade launcher action now from the Lord General. Good damage output from these things. And the Stormtroopers also get them. You get the speed buff as well. With move. Still the 2-1 for the red team. Ravener Brood on the way for Big Mathis. They do have a Warrior Brood as well. Quad Guardsman for Sir Gunter the Kaiser. Looters up for YZ. There's a bunch of dead guardsmen in the mid here. Did they lose a squad? They must have lost a lot of models from one at least. There's some water banners in the mid. Activate them to get that long-lasting buff. It's not a massive buff, but it lasts a while. Mekboy having to teleport out, and Looters opening up, taking out the Techmarine, who does have a master-crafted bolter, it seems. There's a grenade, but they're able to stay in play and retain the mid. Meanwhile, Hormagaunts are going to cap here. Big Mathis helping out Shazza4 as those triple shooter boys still in. There's a boss pole, okay. I mean, can't argue with a boss pole. I would have got angry bits to charge down here against the double tax. Boss pole makes everything around the Warboss a bit tougher and harder to suppress. Also buffing these Tyranids, of course, with a Barb Strangler Warrior Brood. That on-hit suppression weapon. Burrow striking Ravenous as well. Trying to shoot down the scouts. Oh, there's Defend. So we have Chainsword and Storm Shield Force Commander. Probably going to see Sacred Standard as well then, to get the full Force Commander support build going. Defend is awesome, and it makes this guy just tougher in general, with 100 more hit points and a passive damage resistance of 20% versus ranged fire. Level 2 runs away. His support now from Gunter, but red team are going to get on the power and most likely get a full bash here. Moving as one. Techmarine now helping out. Can get a high-powered shot on something and suppress it. Looks like they used it. Looks like they used it on the Warrior Brood there. Charging through their Ramos with extended carapace. Are they going to get the full bash? Down goes the node. Down goes the second to last gen. I think they're going to get it done. nucka4ya is trying to defend. And uses Defend. Perfectly timed there to stop the suppression from the Barb Strangler. It does have an activation cost. And then after that you pay energy per second to maintain it. I don't think it's a very large activation cost. That's like 5 or 10 energy or something. Red team continuing to have a good run of play here. Got a decap on the power. Here come Flame Attack. So nucka4ya is going to be looking to hit back on that power in the southwest, I would think. Mid is turning red. Mid has turned red, actually. 320 to 499. Tier 2 for YZ. Maybe they can grab a Death Dread and charge it through the mid. There's Assault Marines jump in. Got onto the looters. We have big shooters on one of the shooter boys. The War Banner's being used, and here come the Sluggers. They are a big threat to low-level assault squad without their sergeant especially. Jumping back to relative safety, but they're still being chased. Assault squad are going to get away, I think. Okay, they might drop a model. They do drop a model. Oh! Ramos in the retreat path there. Big Mathis almost got a model off those guys again. Reinforcing the mid at just the right time. Some Daka in the north. Attacks can just force melee combat on those guys, but Sluggers might be on their retreat path here. Oh, and there's Looters as well. That Death Gun suppressing them in that firing arc, doing a bunch of damage as well. And there's the Sluggers, they have to run. Meanwhile, what is this? This is the Imperial forces fighting back against the Tyranid menace. Ramos backing off. Almost level 3 this guy. Weird Boy on the way for YZ. That's what they're going for then. Tier 2s all round for the red team. Getting a jump on the blue team in terms of tech. Did this get rebuilt? It's being rebuilt now. But I feel like nucka4ya is going to bash it right back down here. They're going to trade the power. There's Big Mathis and the Orks coming back to the mid. Shazza4 with those triple shooter boys. There's tier 2 for Gunter. Spotter's getting a good shot in there. Charging in. A truncated charge. Those guys run away. It's a tough spot to be in for Sir Gunter. 2v1 here. They don't want to just leave the VP unguarded, but they also don't want to lose too much stuff while they defend. Got to try and judge this. Well, those shooter boys got in a really strange place. Here comes the Warboss though. And they're going to go for the decap, I imagine. Maybe. Yep, there we go. Warboss decapping. Facing the wrong way though. While I take a swig. Strange play there from Shazza4. Getting very close again with their shooter boys. I think you'd want some sluggers, buddy. They can get nice and close. Warboss puts Ard Boys on himself and does get the decap. There's a creeping barrage. Those guys might be able to outrun it here though. That's a global ability of the Lord General, and they do outrun it. Back to the mid, it's still red. A nice warp vomit on the Assault Marines. No sluggers to take massive advantage, but they have a lot of Daka. There's that Techmarine. The Weird Boy does need to be careful though, because if they can get a high-powered shot and jump that guy at the same time, They might be able to take him out. Even more so if they can chuck a grenade on him. That was a zap thrown in there. Down to 154 VPs, the blue team. Here's nucka4ya, though. Getting a decap, maybe even a cap. And look, they bashed and stole and noded this power on this south side, nucka4ya. Level 3 Force Commander. They do indeed have the Sacred Standard coming. Awesome piece of war gear. 35 power, but it's well worth it. Constant area of effect buff around you, which increases if the Force Commander falls. There it is. And of course they can add to that with battle cries and Librarian inspiration and Terminator inspiration and Dreadnought inspiration and for the Emperor as well. Lots of ways to stack damage buffs with Space Marines. Down goes that Zone Throat. Big Mathis does have a Tyrant guard up. Might want to get another Zone Throat. Greenskins running from the mid. I guess they bashed that power. They didn't quite get the node down, but that's well done by YZ. They might give up the mid. Looters are still here though, and Assault Squad might be wary of jumping them at that much hit points. There's the Death Gun ticking in. Doing tons of damage to those tacks, bloody hell. Killing them in 2 bursts at that range. That was nasty. Really nasty. There's that high-powered shot. And they dropped 2 models in quick succession, having to run. Assault Squad coming in. Assault Squad didn't actually have the energy to jump there. She had to just run in. Any more war gear for... Nope, Ramos. Electric armor for the Mekboy, by the way. And we do have the stabilizers for Sir Gunter the Kaiser. Oh, hey. Shazza now with triple sluggers up. Okay. Into a war truck, maybe. They could patrol that south side pretty well. Plasma cannon is in play in the mid. There it goes. Doesn't get a very good shot though. Meanwhile, in the south, making a run at the power. Gunter doing what they can to try and defend with a bunch of guardsmen. They do have plasma guns in play though. Is that triple plasma? Yeah, triple plasma. And they can't change this flamer. I think there is talk of allowing guardsmen to switch their specialized weapon if they pay each time, like tactical marines, which I think would be a really nice change for those guys. When you want to put that early generator pressure with the flamers, and then you're kind of a liability afterwards in a 3v3. I mean, maybe that should be the trade-off, but making them pay for the upgrade each time, I think that's all right. Assault Squad jumping in. Sluggers are there though. Yeah, they're kind of jumping in and meeting sluggers each time. Some friendly fire from the plasma cannon. Got some Stone Guard now for Quarantine. In fact, both Space Marine players have Stone Guard veterans up. First company tactical marines that can switch armor. They actually got all their vengeance rounds for the Tyrant Guard, I see. Looked like they were shooting at the Hive Tyrant for a second there. Warboss isn't ready to leave. Big Mathis backed off a bit. There's that Force Commander. They're trying to pulse, defend off and on to get rid of the suppression from the Barb Strangler, I think. Are you all up to 12 models, fellas? Yep, a lot of guardsmen now with sergeants and commissars that can break their own retreats, and they can reinforce 3 at a time. Back to the mid. Techmarine struggling to get their hands on this VP here. It's constant Ork goings on. Look how low that Weird Boy is. 3 War Banners here too. There's a foot of Gork. Crunch. That does like 225 plasma cannon damage, I think, doesn't it? Oh, we have a Warpath now, so I can't see the Warp Head upgrade. Mekboy teleports in. And there's that electric armor. It's going to do even damage, so these guys aren't really at risk of losing models, but if there was anything else around here, they really would have been. Using their Hellfire to do damage over time to the Mekboy. Those acid rounds. Meanwhile, southwest, big push from the Imperial team on the power. Double Zone Throats up for Big Mathis. They lost their Tyrant God along the way. Probably to all of this plasma. Oh, and Melter. We got Melter guns for the Lord General. His Stormtrooper buddies also get them. And yeah, looks like the Vox operator and the medical sergeant in there too. Not sure what the Warboss is up to. Going straight for that central VP. Was not interested in fighting. Does have a war truck and triple sluggers though. They lost their other shooters then. They've lost a lot, Shazza. But they're in tier 2 with a potentially very nasty army. Simple but nasty. Here we go. Will the war truck survive? There's a creeping barrage. Sluggers all get out of the war truck and start tearing stuff up. Now stabilizers is active. You can see the health regen going in. There's use your choppers on some of the sluggers too. Scouts might look for a cheeky grenade in there. They're all bunched up. Look at those sluggers. Looks like it was a shotgun blast instead. Big Mathis has got the crushing claws for their Hive Tyrant now. Sluggers brute forced their way through and got it done, but they took a lot of damage doing it. War truck survived though. Warboss got that central VP as well. We might see another plasma cannon. Oh, there's got heavy turrets coming in from Gunter. There it is. Down to 100 victory points, the blue team. Can they hold on here? nucka4ya might have to raid the south and get to that VP again with the scouts and stuff. Level 3 mech. Not sure why the Techmarine is pushing up so much here. But they're trying to create space for the cat, but I'm not sure if the Techmarine is the best thing to do it. Assault squad on the VP now. War truck is going to go down. Try to drive into a heavy turret. These heavy turrets have vehicle armor, by the way, so it's not easy to take them down with small armor spy. This is a big old brouhaha. Those sluggers are going to wipe, I think. I only see 2 slugger squads running away. Yeah, one of them wiped. And the others almost wiped. That was not a good decision by Shazza4. Foot of Gork. Can't quite hit them. Big Mathis. Might be able to just run the Hive Tyrant in and take that turret out. Because Crushing Claws will deal with it. They're going to get a revive here on the mech. There we go. Almost level 5 is Ramos. Another Tyrant Guard up. Probably starting to think about their tier 3s now. Big Mathis. Shazza4 has gone tier 3. YZ already in tier 3. Has some stick bombers. Tier 3 for Quarantine. nucka4ya also there. Didn't get any tier 2 units up, I think. They just got their Force Commander rolling with a Sacred Standard. Oh, Terminators are in. Sluggers trying to fight them. There's use your choppers. I don't think they had enough health going in though. Yeah, they got dealt with. That was a waste of use your choppers, but it's not that much red. Level 5 Hive Tyrant now. Can someone cap the mid though? Zonethrope's getting good shots in on the Stern Guard. Weirdboy gets a good shot in too. Oh, they're lucky they were retreating because that was a good double shot from the Zonethropes. Red team taking their natural back. Did the Terminators get it and then teleport away maybe? Capillary Tower coming up there. And Shazza4 has flash kits on the way. Need to get that natural power back though. That's going to really slow down the red team if they can't get that back and hold it. nucka4ya has been hitting it quite a lot. Double Tyrant Guards here. That was a good charge. And a good Zonethrope shot went in as well. Hive Tyrant tried to go after the turret, but was taking too much damage. They have Warp Field, right? Yeah, they do. Down goes one of the Tyrant Guard. Trying to counter push is Quarantine. Assault Squad got messed up in retreat a bit. This Tyrant Guard is trying to get away. I think they're going to be alright. Can you use Symbiosis on a Tyrant Guard that's in Shield Wall, I wonder? Force Squander scares off the Sluggers. Stick Bombs scare off the Tacks. But Terminators are still in play. Tyrant Guards are pretty good at chewing through enemy heroes with 90 odd heavy melee DPS. They do have splash damage though, of course. There's an orbital. That's going to take out all of those wire banners. Doesn't seem like it's going to do... Oh, it might hit these guys pretty well. These double stick bombers here. I'm not sure if it wiped any of them, because I can't see the other one on the roster. It might have. I think there were 2 there. These double zone threats have been amazing so far, actually. Down to 79 VPs, the blue team. Mekboy just cancelled that cap that they were trying to get. There's a shield wall, Tyrant guard. They gain vehicle armor and a bunch of health regen. But they do have some anti-vehicle weapons here. There's a melter gun. Burrow striking, Ravener Brew coming in. Trying to tie up the Lord General, maybe. Oh, Tyrant guard's back. He's back up. Having a melter gun doesn't help you in melee, does it? And there's that Hive Tyrant as well. Stern Guard trying to get a fast cap on the mid. Don't think it's going to work out for him, but... Oh, they're getting zone throats. And there's a warp vomit. They might get wiped here. They do indeed get wiped. Big chunk of XP there for the Hive Tyrant. 79 to 349. Looks like Shazza4 does have their power back, but there isn't any gens on it. And they just got messed, their units just got messed up back at base. Those guys almost wiped. Warboss getting tossed around by the Force Commander. Level 2 does have a Power Claw, so there's a massive threat in melee now. Red team capping the mid. Is that a spotter shell that was there? Guess it must have been. They grabbed it. Assault squad jumping into a bad spot again. Sluggers were right there. And so a double zone throat shooting. Zone throat's been used really well so far from Big Mathis. They're not going over the halfway point. Big Mathis with tons of requisition. But they have no power income. Look at this again. nucka4ya. Oh, and Quaratine getting a decap on that power. But nucka4ya has done so much work over here. Now capping that wreck point. Meanwhile, back to the mid. Force Commander popping the defender. And caps the mid. Maybe. Nope. They knocked him off it. Tyrant Guard is in there. Going after the Stern Guard. Terminator's having to teleport out. More stick bombs being thrown. We do have double stick bombers now, that's for sure. Tyrant Guard goes down. So much plasma for those guys to deal with. And now a melter gun Techmarine. Yeah, I think they need to stop with the Tyrant Guards. There's too much plasma and stuff. nucka4ya has plasma attacks as well. Oh hey, the boys' hut. Providing some buffs around it from those Gretchens. Can the blue team grab the mid? 71 they're down to. They did decap red team's natural again. It might be worth Shazza4 getting some commandos so they can raid the natural VP of the blue team. They do have double flash kits with blasters. Very good bursts of damage versus heavy and super heavy infantry. Not very useful against that Lehman Russ though. They do psychic PvP damage. Hive Tyrant is level 7. Can't rush through there though. Is Big Mathis going to go tier 3? 49 power income isn't bad. But look at this again. The scouts coming to harass. Looks like the Ravener Brood is being kept on the VP, and they have enhanced muscle coil for full-on melee stuff. So they should be able to look after it quite well, I think. Mekboy puts up his custom force field. I don't know what the... it says reduces damage from ranged attacks, so it doesn't tell me how much it is. It's got to be at least 30%. 1-to-1 cap. Nobody can grab the mid so far. Here comes another... Oh, there's going to be more Tyrant Guards, apparently. Land Raider Redeemer on the way for Quarantine as well. That's going to be a big problem. Well, they do have quite a lot of anti-vehicle. They have the Crushing Claws, they have the Weird Body, they have the Double Zone Threats, they have a Beamy Lutus here. And Mekboy can get his own Beamy gun as well. Yeah, going to see triple Tyrant guards. Well, if this one survives. 71 with a single cat on the VPs. Scouts again from nucka4ya. They're actually going to steal that VP there. What happened to the Ravener Brood? I guess they got grenaded. Oh no. I think they went for the other natural. Double focus warp blast on the Leman Russ there. Messed it up quite a lot. Does have an executioner now. We've got some Vanguard veterans jumping in. Stick bombers there to counter initiate. They are decent in melee. So of course is that Hive Tyrant. They got away. And there is that Land Raider Redeemer. The blue team can now reinforce off this thing and retreat back to it. It might be nuke bait though, with double Orks that can drop rocks. Lots of repairs for the Leman Russ. I'm not sure what kind of bunker that is. It might not be upgraded yet. I don't think this Tyrant Guard is going to get away. And look how much defend helps against the burst damage of those flash kits as well. These flash kits are heavy infantry, so you want to use plasma against them, and they have plenty of that, the blue team. The meat grinder middle. We got a brood nest up from the Hive Tyrant on the left of your screen. Some pretty good throws from the stick bombs there. Sluggers just wiped, did they? Yes, Shazza4 just lost their sluggers. They do have some tank busters up. But the flash kits are out of there. Bit of a flank from nucka4ya, knowing that they can retreat back to that Land Raider maybe. The Land Raider is taking some shots though. So is the Leman Russ. And here comes Big Mathis. He's trying to go straight for that Force Commander there, I think. Crushing Claw Hive Tyrant and the Power Claw Warboss with user choppers on himself. Can they run down this tank now? Beamy looters are moving up. The Mekboy, Mekboy just got marked targeted. And that's a creeping barrage. That might break their momentum a little bit. Vanguard veterans jumping in. Knowing that they can retreat back to the Land Raider there, they can be super aggressive. Triple Tyrant guards on them though. Trying to put pressure on the zone throats to make them retreat. But they couldn't quite do it. Down goes the brood nest. They go down so quick, the brood nests. Hive Tyrant. Not sure if they're going to get away. It's a lot of ranged fire. No, they don't get away. And the plasma doing some good work against triple Tyrant guards all blobbed up. Red team aren't off the mid yet though. Tyrant guards all going into shield wall. Big Mathis still not going tier 3 though. Not sure what they're waiting for here. nucka4ya with double Terminators. Is that the scouts there? Oh, that's scouts from Quarantine. Hive Tyrant. Is he running away? Yeah, running away. Almost level 8, that guy. There's a Foot of Gork. Nicely done on retreating guardsmen. Ouch. And some stick bombs were thrown in as well. That was nasty. Nicely timed. I don't think it wiped any of them though. Not sure. Absolute madness in the mid. Absolute madness. Triple Tyrant guards eyeing up that Land Raider Redeemer now. One of them's had to go shield wall, but the other two are getting hits in. Doing some good damage as you can see. That's a cyclone missile launcher, I think. Yeah, I thought that was a whirlwind for a second. Yeah, did get that Leman Russ though. You see it over there. It crashed into the cliff face. Smoke shell dropped in. Can they grab the mid? They're still on 71 VPs. Vanguard veterans jumping forward into double Tyrant guards though. They're just trying to create some space. And there's a warp vomit. made it out with 2 models, and the Force Commander able to cap the mid, maybe? No. Mekboy gets in there with his custom force field and knocks things around. Level 6, this guy. Warboss trying to run into a Land Raider by themselves. It's not going to work out, buddy. Not sure what the plan was here. They ran away. They should have gone mid and helped with this. Nob squad is on the field, though. No upgrades yet. That is so much explosion. Stick bombers and a Manticore strike going in there from opposing sides, of course. Mark target on the Tyrant guard might mean that it falls. Melter guns are getting shots. Plasma cannon getting shots. It survives. Nob squad are dealt with. Need to be a little bit more nuanced with their approaches, Shazza4. I mean, I know it's not very orky, but you can see what they're trying to do. They're trying to come in from a different angle, but it's the angle that has a Land Raider Redeemer on it. A well-defended Land Raider Redeemer. They should try to come in from the north side, maybe, if they want to do that, or go further back and come around. Do we have the Quaratine? No. Still extended carapace. They might want to get that invulnerability up. 71 to 120 on the VPs. Stun bombs going in. That was a really good stun. Look at that. Stunned a whole bunch of stuff. Both the Terminators, I think. Double cap now for the blue team. More Tyrant guards for Big Mathis. They're really doubling down on this. Again, this got decapped. I'm not sure who it was that time. There's the Force Commander. The Force Commander is hanging out, popping defend up now and then. Huge amount of support. Stick bombs thrown back there. There's an orbital. Might take out all the war banners again. And blue team pushing in unison with it. Look at all those buffs from the Force Commander. Super effective. Another Tyrant guard's going to fall, I think. Yep. But they've still got 3 on the field. They cap the mid. 71-67. They take a VP lead. Something's looking after this now. It's tank busters, though. Not the best thing to look after a victory point. Another Tyrant guard is going to go down. They still have 3 on the field. Constant supply of them. Stick bombs thrown in. Another Tyrant guard falls. Red team running out of ideas. Here's the Nob squad. They are fully upgraded, but they need to wait. They can't go in alone. I guess they're just desperate for VPs at this point. They're trying to go in alone and make something happen. Well, here comes the Hive Tyrant. They still have some orky support, but the Nob squad just got wrecked. Bunch of knockback. There's a shotgun blast. There's plasma cannons. There's the frag assault from the Land Raider. And look at this. Guardsmen now down the south side. Tier 3 finally from Big Mathis. It's going to be too late though. Uh-oh. Rocket run. Some good hits. Really good hits. Tank buster barrages. Absolute madness at the end here. Those Vanguard veterans survived. That was awesome. Blue team are going to get this, I think, with a 2-1 at the end. Red team fighting to the death. Even going for a decap here. Yeah, I think Big Mathis staying in tier 2 and Shazza4 losing just a lot of stuff along the way. They just couldn't hold on. YZ did really well. Was really solid in the mid. I don't think that the massive Tyrant guards with all the plasma they had were suited. They did well though. I feel like if Shazza had a stronger... They seemed to be really slow once they got to tier 3. Probably because of all the power bashes that went on here. They got a double flash kits up, but they couldn't like build off that momentum with a bunch of knobs out quickly. They got the knob squad out quite late. Awesome stuff though. Let's look at these heroes. Level 5 Techmarine. A level 8 Lord General. Did they have... I think they had other retinue fellas at some point. Force Gunner level 10 was superb. With that full support build. Had a level 6 Mekboy. Level 9 Hive Tyrant. Did YZ actually get any tier 3 units out? I don't remember any. Yeah, some weird choices from the red team. And Shazza4's Warboss was level 3. There you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one, and I'll see you next time.